Yeah. Once we get going, Bethany, it's going to be a 45-15. 45 on, 15 off. We have 22 stations today. I'll run back and press play soon. Number one is going to be squat, curl, overhead press. So if you have a pair of dumbbells handy, may as well get them ready before I go press play. So I'll demo that first exercise real quick. 2 dumbbells in hand. I didn't think 10 pounds that heavy. A sit, a curl, a press. Should be pretty quick in that movement pattern. Not necessarily pausing from the curl to the press. About 15 seconds out. 10. Good, number one, dumbbell, squat, curl, overhead press. 3. And again, more that 45-15 format, so quick squat, easy overhead. And as we press overhead, hopefully core stays tight. I wouldn't overload this station from a weight perspective. More so getting a nice full body warm up before we get into it. Your breathing is synced up. It's inhale here, exhale here. When you get into a faster breathing pattern, you probably can't sync that movement up, which is fine. 15 seconds to go. Trying to feel the weight in the heels as we sit. 5. Good, 15 seconds off. Same exercise again coming up. 3. Bells in hand, sit, overhead press. First 2 stations could be seen as a little bit shoulder intensive. We go from squat, curl, overhead press into a plank with a lateral foot tap. So just from the overhead press into that plank position, a little bit of shoulder demand there. 15 seconds. Got a few left. 5. Bells down. Grab an ab mat if you have one. From a normal plank position, just a lateral foot tap, so hips up in the air. Tap the foot out wide, drag back in. On my lateral foot tap, I'm very light in that toe. Lift the foot up using the glute. Set it down lightly. And I'm doing my best to keep shoulders, hips, and ankles all in alignment. If I need to from an effort standpoint, I can always hike my hips up a little bit. Maybe drawing down the forearms lightly, increase the core tension. 10 seconds. 5. Good little air. Hang tight. 3. Get back on. Tight plank position to get right. Just use the glute, lift the toe up, set it down lightly outside. Again, keeping the hips nice and stable. After our plank lateral foot tap, we're going to go into broad jumps. We'll talk about it when we get there. We're looking for more core tension. Remember, draw the elbows down lightly, right toward the toes. Pull that rib cage down. If you get stuck here, it's okay. Hold static. 10 seconds. 2. Good. Broad jump. I'll use my arms to kind of dictate the distance, right? So I have to swing the arms. Nice soft landing, one at a time. Nice jump. Nice landing. 2. you feel good, feel free to throw some distance in there, right? But it's more about not skipping rocks. So as I land, I control the landing, one jump at a time, getting some distance. If I only have room for one jump, one direction, let's turn around after each jump, right? If you don't have a lot of distance, put more of a vertical component in, still traveling, right? But more vertical. 15 seconds. Maybe every repetition you get a little further if you're feeling good. 5. Rest it here. 5 seconds. Same thing, start out nice and light. And then build that distance if you can. Use the full range of motion in the squat to absorb the impact. Toss the arms up front. After broad jump, we're going to go into hovering bird dog. It's a decent double. There's a lot of quads in our broad jumps. We're going to ask them to kind of work in a static motion or static exercise. 10 seconds. 5. Hovering bird dog will be in the quad plank position, so my knees will be off the ground. Left and right. Right and left. Shoulders 90, hips 90, knees 90. Knees off the ground. Pressing opposites. You can pause out there if you want. The positive with the pause is you have less transitions. I think it feels better to go slow, have a pause. That way I don't have to do as many reps. If you get stuck holding just a static quad plank without reaching fine, 10 seconds. 2. Some air. Weight up the shoulders, let them rest. In this position, try to keep the hips as stable as we can so not rocking side to side. 3. Back up, hands and toes, check your angles. 90 shoulders, 90 degrees of hips, 90 the knees. Take that reach, stabilize the body. As my back leg extends, I squeeze that glute, hold tight. And if you pause in the extension, you can kind of find that glute. It's hard to find immediately on the extension, but the longer you stay there, the more you can start to build up tension. 15 seconds. Next thing, we're going to be on our back. We've got a couple ab things coming up. 8. Good, on your back. We're going to cross crunch. 1 foot over the knee. I would recommend keeping the secondary leg down. Just because after cross crunch, we're going to go dead bug. If you have the leg up for a cross crunch, the dead bug's going to be very hip flexor dominant. Reach back, open the rib cage, press that back down, exhale. Take your time here. Volume is somewhat irrelevant. I'm doing my best not to roll up onto my left shoulder. And leaving my knee stationary, taking my elbow to the knee. 15 seconds. 5. Good. Little air exercise. Get into a little early, get a nice little stretch out of it. 5 seconds out. My left hand behind my head now, opposite elbow to knee. There we go. Easy exhale on the way up. Reach that elbow back away from the knee about as far as I can. So I come up, press the rib cage down, smash that back. Easy exhale. And find a little bit of oblique on the hand behind the head side as well. My left hand behind my head. I can fire some left oblique to assist on the way up. Mentioned it a little bit ago, but next station is a dead bug. Decent heavy core double here. 8 seconds. 2. I would rest the head down. If the dead bug becomes too neck intensive, you can always dead bug head down, right? You can still create some tension, still legs up in the air, still extending. There we go. Legs up if we can. Rib cage smash down, low back down tight. Just hold static. As far as you can is great. Again, if it gets too neck intensive, we can just drop the head down. Doing my best to get my shoulder blades up. So instead of being here, I'm reaching for the ceiling and then extending. 20 seconds out. If you feel strong, the legs drop a little further. On the back side of the cross crunch, it's way more intensive. 10 seconds out. 5. Thumbs up if you agree it's more intensive. Yeah, it's good. There's a few heavy core doubles today. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, 2. Same thing. Smash that low back down, right? Roll the rib cage, get the legs up, and take those shoulders high. Press the low back down. If and when you need to, if it becomes too hip flexor, you can always set the feet down. Keep the core tension. It feels almost the same, right? When my hip flexors are unloaded. So if it becomes a little bit too much at the hips, set those feet down. After static dead bug, we're going to roll over for an eccentric push-up. Just means we're coming down slowly. 15 seconds. 10. 2. Commit to maybe like a 5 or 8 second drop. If you go from your knees, fantastic. But in a push-up position, I'm going to lower myself down slowly. Put the brakes on. When I get all the way down, however I want to get up is fine. If it's kneeling, great. If it's a little bit of like a worm action, that's fine. But on the way down, shoulders stay depressed. Trying to find my lats. Trying to call on some lat recruitment for assistance. Coming down. Nice and slow. Minimize the reps here by taking your time. When you get to the floor, try not to lay on the floor, right? Maybe a soft sternum tap and then back up. Good on time here, 10 seconds. One last good rep. Put the brakes on hard. Little air, I would unload the arms, just rest. 10 seconds out. Eccentric push-up again. If you can start from your toes, great. And then if you need to go to the knees at some point, that's fine. 2. Back up, minimal reps. If you did like 8 last time, shoot for 6. Slow it down. Especially the bottom portion, right? The top portion is easy to have control. Once the elbows get close to 90 degrees, it becomes pretty hard to slow down. So work that bottom end if you feel strong. And again, don't lay on the floor all the way down. 20 seconds out. Our next exercise, we're going to do a reverse lunge with a curl. 10. 2. Then grab some dumbbells. As we're lunging down, we're going to do a curl same time. 5. I'm going to alternate legs. It'll give me a little bit more tempo. So back and down, switch sides. Then my hands rotate toward my hips when I'm in the extended position, just so I can get a nice long arm. Rotate hands toward chest as I finish. A little bit of a bicep squeeze. I'm leaning forward slightly in my torso to get more glute and hamstring recruitment on the leg that stays in front of me. 10. 2. 5. Same thing coming up, alternated legs. Drop in, nice curl. After reverse lunge curl, keep the dumbbells. It's going to be a dumbbell thruster. I would go lighter than normal, maybe substantially lighter than normal. Work on a lot of volume. 15 seconds out. 10. 2. Good dumbbell thrust to next station. We'll take a squat, overhead press. Double arm if you have to. So I didn't clarify. Trying to utilize as much legs as we can. Drive to the feet. Let the bells float overhead. Trying to stay connected. The weight's on my shoulders to where when I stand up, the momentum carries the bells up. 10. 2. My watch thinks my heart rate's 57. It's not. it's not that. Here we go. Shoulders, sit, overhead press. After dumbbell thrusters, we go into a dumbbell single arm bent over row. Well over halfway. Good. 10. Keep using the legs as the arms fatigue. 5. Then you'll need a heavier weight for your row. Perhaps something to put your hand on as well. With my right arm row, nice flat back. Left hand's heavy on my bench. Weight could start midline of body. As I pull the weight, it comes out around, driving the shoulder down. 20 seconds. Try to talk yourself into some work here. Squeeze the bicep at the top. 5. 2. Having that front arm again, right? That'll alleviate some of that low back stress. So real heavy front arm. Nice single arm on the other side. You can, if you'd like to, take a lot of shoulder rotation. Allow that shoulder to lean, drop back out, or stay really crisp in the shoulders. No hip or no shoulder rotation. 20 seconds here. Next station's a doozy. We're gonna go from this row into a marching plank. 10. 2. Good, in my marching plank, forearms down. Trying to move opposite arm and leg same time. 2. And then being mindful the hips don't elevate as I take that reach. Trying to slide across the ground. Almost like our broad jump. How we don't want to skip rocks. Same thing here in our hips. As we glide forward backwards. Think about staying same height off the ground in the hip bones. 15 seconds. Rest. Next station's not so bad. Single leg rear up fly. Looking forward to that one. Get your marching plank again. 5. Stable hips, no rotation. Don't gain height as you move. As you go backwards, it's a push to the forearm. Drive yourself back. As you head forward, the calf raise, right? Extend through the ankle. Next up, single leg rear delt fly. Really, really, really light weights. Or just the weight of the hands with the thumbs turned up to the ceiling. 10 seconds. 2. I'm gonna go 5 pounds myself. It's enough. Single leg base. Back leg's long. Front knee has a small crimp. If I feel too much in my traps, it could be that my arms are hanging here and I'm coming up sideways. Whereas if I move the arms up a few inches right in front of the knee and pull back, I'm pulling perpendicular to body, which should be more of a mid-back pinch. Nothing fast here. 15 seconds out. Good station to try to get the heart rate back down, control the breathing. 2. As you're going to the fly, don't let that low back extend, right? Still carry some tension in the core. 8 seconds. So pinch the rib cage down. 2. Again, arms might float up above the knee a little bit. Rib cage stays down. Nice fly. Next one we're going to go into is squat pulses. We'll lose the weight. Pulse at the bottom, end of that range of motion. 10. Good, weights down. Squat pulses, just find a normal squat base. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Toward the end range, of the pulse. 2. Have a seat. Up and down. And check the knees aren't the main drive, right? Not a lot of this movement, more of this movement. Wave at friends or strangers. I thought I knew them, but they had a mask on. Just kidding, it's a member. It's good. 20 seconds out. After squat pulses, we're gonna get into a push-up. So don't feel like you can't work here. 10. 2. Good. Walk it off. Come back to the same thing. 2. Good. Find yourself toward the end or toward the bottom. Knees fairly stationary. Torso can be leaned forward. Most of the weight in the heels. Up and down to the body. After squat pulses, we're going to go slow on the way up for a push-up. 20 seconds. So last time we did eccentric, slow coming down. We're going to reverse the effort and go slow up. 5. That was unpleasant. I saw it on the board and I really wanted to skip it. Here we go. Quickly down, slow on the press. You need to kneel, fantastic. Rib cage is staying down. Body stays aligned. Drop normal speed. Press slow. Like eccentric push-up, the work's going to be at the bottom, where the elbows are about 90. Try to take your time coming up those first couple inches. 15 seconds. 8. 'Doing good. We're well over halfway at this point. Slow up again. Here we go. Drop in. Slow press. After slow on the way up push-up, we're going to get into a Russian twist. So we'll stay down on the ground, rotate side to side. 20 seconds here. Kneeling when we need to. 10. 'Little air. If I can, my feet are off the ground here. Right, and I'm gonna rotate nice big side to side. 2. My goal is how far can I rotate the sternum, right? Not just the arms, but the sternum. You can go weighted if you want, or just focus on range of motion. How much rotation can I actually build? How far back can I lean? If both your hip flexors, heels can stay down like mine are, keeping them fairly light on the floor, but still keeping the hips somewhat unloaded. 15 seconds. 3. I woke up at 2 and looked out the window, there was snow. Why is it snowing? Anytime it snows, I have to move my car because our driveway is like 33% up. So last night I didn't expect snow, so I ran out to my car. Street was covered, sidewalk was covered, yard was covered, everything's covered in snow. I had to work my car out of the driveway before it got any worse. It's good. Made it. "20 seconds here after Russian twists. Single leg RDL. There's no curl, no overhead press. So as heavy as we'd like to on the RDL. 5. Good, 2 weights. You have them. We're going to stay on one leg for duration. I'm going to load my right leg first. Swing that left leg up and back. A little tension there, stand tall. That's it, there's no curl. Just focus on the lower body. Focus on not necessarily reaching the arms, right? My shoulders stay retracted and depressed. So they're pulled back and down. Spine stays long. I'm going for tension in my glute and hamstring versus a certain range of motion or a certain depth. The longer I keep the spine, the sooner I'll start to feel that stretch I'm looking for. 10 seconds. Good, little hair. Same thing, other leg coming up, 8. Remember to push that heel away from you, tip the body forward, but drive that heel back and away. And again, shoulders stay back and down, back stays long. Trying to keep a neutral spine by taking my chin with me. So instead of looking up and around, as I come down, I keep my chin in line with my sternum so everything stays nice and straight. After single leg RDL, single leg alternating curl. Keep the dumbbells in hand. 2. Good, you might adjust the weights. 1 foot down, 1 knee up. The bug's the hip flex, you can always set that foot down. Knee is somewhat hip height. My bottom knee is bent lightly. The weight in the heel of my down foot. I can maintain a full foot contact, but most weight's in the heel. My rib cage stays down snug. As I draw the knee up, trying to create some core tension. The weights are light, a lot of tempo works. 15 seconds. Five. Good, bring bells down, right? Let the forearms relax, coming off the RDL and curl. 10 seconds. Make sure we switch legs here. 2. Knee up on the other side, knees bent on the other side. Nice curl. A little bit of a bicep squeeze at the top. After single leg alternating curl, we're going to get into high knees. Good, unfold the arms, right? Let the hand face into hips as we curl. Rotate the palm. 20 seconds out. There's a school bus out front. That's the first time in about a year. Interesting. Good. 10. Good for parents. That's what I mean. 5. Again, high knees next. 2. If you can't high knee, you can go to fast feet or jumping jacks instead. We're gonna try not to lean back on the high knees. Nice cadence. 2. Knee nice and high. Integrate the arms. You're gonna land on your toes. You might heel tap lightly, right? This is kind of an end point. Just check the rib cage, right? Is the rib cage down or is it opened up, right? Make sure the ribs stay down. It almost puts you in a little bit of a forward lean. "15 seconds. Eight. Bam. Deep breath. 3. Same thing. 2. Good news and bad news. Good news, we're almost done. Bad news is, got some work on the next station. 25 seconds, not burpees though, which is good. Keep the arms moving. Five. Squat, pulse, jump. 1 pulse, 1 jump. 8 seconds. Don't get too high. 2. 1 pulse to the bottom. 1 hop. It's immediately not as bad as I was expecting, but there's a long set still. We'll see how it turns out. In my pulse, I'm doing my best to sit back into it. Trying to use some glutes and hamstrings as a break. Can be very quad intensive to absorb the impact. So I'm doing my best to utilize something else. 15 seconds, at least share the effort. 10. 2. 5. Same thing here. 1 pulse, 1 hop. Not worried too much about the height of the jump, just get some air. I don't remember what day it was, but last week we did the active plank from the forearms. Hip slide up, take a breath. Scoop the hips down. 15 seconds. 5. So a standing demo. Here I am, right? Hips up, scoop the hips down, draw the forearm, squeeze. Nice exhale. 5 seconds. When I finish at the bottom, I'm not below a normal plank position. So I shoot my hips up, air in my lungs as I come down. Posteriorly tilt the hips, squeeze the glutes, draw the elbows down. Decrease in tension. Nice and slow. Only a few reps in the set. Nice deep breath, the hip hike. Start to scoop the hips. Squeeze the glutes. Pull the forearms. 2. Same thing, 5 seconds, guys. Back in the forearms, nice deep breath, scoop the hips up. Slowly exhaling as they get down into a tight plank position. Not a race. As they get their rib cage down, draw the forearm, squeeze the glutes. Slow exhale. Trying to create as much, not as much, but a lot of core tension. And again, hips aren't going to go below the normal plank position. Just tight when I get there. 15 seconds out. We're going to roll onto our back next. 2. Slow bicycles. 8 seconds out, hands behind the head, opposite elbow, opposite knee. If I need to, I can always heel tap like this. Right? It takes a lot of effort up to set my heel down. Trying to keep the back flat. Trying to take a slow rotation. Trying to get the breathing back under control. Ten seconds. If you need to, don't reach that foot so far. 5. Up there. I think the higher up in the crunch we come, right, the more we're able to press that low back down. So if you're having a hard time keeping that back down, come up a little higher in the crunch, and or reduce the amount you're reaching away in that leg. If that last set was kind of, I don't know, half effort because you're still recovering, you're back on now. Work through this one. Nice and tight. Fifteen seconds. We're going to stay on our back for one last station after this. 5. Good suitcase crunch. If it bugs your neck, hands behind your head. If it doesn't, we're up in a crunch. Rotate side to side. A little bit of obliques here. 3. Last station of the day. Take that reach side to side. And be active in the oblique. As you get over there to the side, squeeze the oblique. Other side, little squeeze. Less about tempo and more about trying to find that squeeze there. $15. $5. After suitcase crunch, we should probably start with a core stretch. 5. Here we go. Last one. 2. Nice big crunch, low back smash. Rock and roll side to side. Put the heels somewhere you can tap them. Not easily, you should have to work to get over there. Last 15 seconds. Five. Good, 15 seconds off first. Exercise or first stretch. We'll go core stretch. a lot of core work. I'm gonna cough later today and probably cramp. Not that I'm sick, not that I'm sick. Lay the hips down, extend. Take your time here. I would not stress the back too much, just a stretch. You can move the hips side to side, get a little more oblique. You almost think plank with hip rotation, letting one hip roll over. Ten. Good, 15 seconds to breathe. We'll go back, same stretch. Nice deep breathing here. 3, 2, hips will sag again. Move the body up. Settle into it. You're in a good position. Maybe take a deep belly breath, right? Let that rib cage open up a little bit. Seconds. 8. We'll go butterfly stretch next. Let us have a seat with our feet side by side. Drag the feet in. Sit nice and tall if you'd like to. Drag those shoulders down. Let's just do the butterfly stretch once. So get a lot of work here. After butterfly, we'll go standing quad, 1 time per side. As I stretch, I'm trying to get my heart rate back down, right? Maybe sort some things mentally. What's your agenda today, right? Go through your checklist. Morning, Moses. 8. But if your checklist is bothersome, don't worry about it yet. Get to it in a minute. Standing tall, quad stretch. If you can, we're going to stabilize right from this position. Maybe I load a little bit of extra core, right? And then use that quad to push down into my hand a little bit, but not leaning back here, extending. It's more so a core tight, slightly active quad. Nice easy stretch. Supporting leg might have just a real small bend in it, nothing crazy, it's just not locked out. 25 seconds. Five seconds. We'll take 15 seconds, switch sides. 2. Good, same thing other side. Take a deep breath here, relax, no rush. Grab the arch. Set the core to position. Load the quad a little bit. 2. Last 45 seconds. Take your time. Breathe in and control. Heart rate's coming back down. Don't fall over. As the exhale, maybe I tighten the core a little bit, right? A little exhale, a little pierce lips almost. See if you can load the core a little more, right? Rib cage down a little more every time you exhale. It should almost intensify that quad stretch slightly. As you breathe in, the stretch might come back off, right? A little air. That's it. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Let's see this button. There we go. Thanks, Beth.